Welcome to PowerDrift, folks. The Renault Kwid has been a runaway success in the Indian market. In the last 10 months since launch, they have sold close to 80,000 units, and that number is only growing. A small hatchback with an SUV-like stance and an aggressive price point is a very tough proposition to beat. And today, there is a new Kwid on the block. Welcome to the first drive of the new Kwid 1 liter. So for this first drive, we're doing things a little bit differently. A few days ago, we asked you on social media, what do you want to know about the new Kwid 1 liter? And today, we've compiled all of the best questions, and I'm going to do my best to answer all these questions for you. So Kostab Kadu asked us, why do people like the Kwid so much? Well, Kostab, what is not there to like about the Kwid? To begin with, it looks really good. This SUV-inspired design is very nice and butch, and it gives a very aggressive stance to the car. Secondly, it has a claimed efficiency figure of 25 kilometers per liter. The Kwid has one of the biggest boot spaces in this segment, and amongst many other cars, it has 300 liters of boot space. And when you fold the seats down, you have access to 1115 liters, which is bigger than some apartments. All of this is available to you at a very low aggressive price point of just 2.5 lakh rupees. And that is why people like the Kwid so much. There have only been two minor changes to the exteriors of the new Kwid. One is this: you have the checkered flag vinyl with the 1 liter branding that lets everybody else know that you're driving a 1 liter Kwid, and this dual tone gunmetal grey ORVMs, which kind of match my shirt. So Vinod Pulanikat asked us how much legroom is there in the back. Well, as you can see, the simple answer is ample amounts of legroom. In fact, the Renault Kwid has the most amount of legroom in this segment by a mile. There is ample amounts of legroom and ample amounts of headroom. Is there a noticeable improvement with the 1 liter? The simple answer is yes. Renault claim that they have reworked the engine mounts, they have reworked with the timing belt of the engine to ensure that it is a lot more smoother. What has changed with the Renault Kwid 1 liter? Nothing at all. The interiors are exactly the same. The suspension setup, the brakes, everything is exactly the same. Main difference, however, is the new engine, which produces 68 bhp and 90 Newton meters of torque. So on the highway, the Renault Kwid 1 liter is definitely a lot more sorted. We're currently cruising at about 90 kilometers an hour on a highway, and I have to say the car is very well behaved compared to the 800cc variant. Now what I mean by that is that the new 1 liter adds 40 kilos more to the curb weight of the car, so it's around 700 kilos, and those 40 kilos have made a world of difference to the way the car rides on the road. Another thing is that, can you hear that? Listen to that. Exactly. There is a noticeable drop in the amount of engine noise that's coming into the cabin. Abhinav Singh asks us if the Renault Kwid can take steep hills with 4 people in the car. Well, to be honest, Abhinav, we haven't really had any hilly areas. We're down south in Chennai near Mahabalipuram. There is a lot more power and a lot more torque on offer. So if you're talking about the car struggling in Lonavala, I don't see that being too much of a problem. I definitely think that it can handle those roads fairly easily. So driving the new 1 liter in the city, well, in first gear the car is quite notchy. It could have done with a longer first gear, and the gearbox doesn't make it any easier because the throw is quite long and the gearbox itself is also quite notchy. The way the car is tuned, there is a lot more power and a lot more torque, much lower down the rev range. And here I am in third gear doing about 30 kilometers an hour, foot on the gas, and I'm up to 60 and pulling. 70, 80 kilometers an hour, 90 in third, and it's still pulling. We're doing 100 kilometers an hour right now in third gear. So that just goes to show how much more power and torque is there on offer on this car. So in short, when it comes to driving, the Kwid 1 liter definitely feels a lot more mature. But how does this compare to the Alto K10, for example? Well, the K10 is definitely a bit more refined. It has a much better gearbox, and because you sit so low to the ground, it definitely handles better. But the Kwid is definitely a lot more comfortable compared to the Alto K10. And when it comes to the mileage advantage, Renault claimed that the car does 23 kilometers per litre and the 800cc version does about 25 kilometers per litre. So we have been driving the car for about 100 kilometers now in all kinds of various situations, and we've been averaging a cool 18 kilometers per litre, which is really great if you ask me. Dhruvins asks us if there is an AMT or a CVT version. Well, we haven't got any word of a CVT version, and we know that it is well within Renault and Nissan's capability of throwing a CVT in the car. But the AMT is only scheduled to release in December. So that's still a few months away, but it is definitely coming. Okay, so we've just spent the whole day with the new Renault Kwid 1 litre. We've driven to Mahabalipuram from Chennai and back, and we've covered around 150 kilometers. The engine is an absolute peach. It is truly the highlight of the car. There is so much of usable power and torque right from very low in the rev range, and the added 40 kilos really makes the car very, very drivable. It irons out a lot of the performance and the refinement issues that the 800cc car had. There is no ABS on this car or the option of putting in 2 airbags or dual airbags, which is a shame because this car in Brazil comes standard with ABS and dual airbags. I know that it's not legislation at the moment, but with a car that has so much grunt under the bonnet and which can easily reach triple-digit speeds, ABS really is a must. Overall, this car is really an excellent package. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for writing in the questions that you wanted to know, and we hope that we've answered most of them at least. And if we haven't, let us know in the comment section below and let us know what you thought about the car. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, so we've just spent the whole day with the new Renault Kwid 1 litre. We've driven it to Mahabalipuram and back, and we've covered about 150 litres. And here are the things that I really like about it.
150 litres, you said?